my level, it would be intense.
It is intense, and I'm not making that up. Progressive therapeutic is not an easy class,
It is, okay.
but it is designed to allow all levels to come into it. Less so than this class, which is designed to allow all levels, but it's designed to, but it is not an easy class.
Well, it gets more of your different parts of your body that.
Yeah, balance. Hence the name progressive.
And even the shoulders, just that time pulling up.
Yep. There's a lot happening in that class. Let's see. Am I in a good place? Yeah, I think so. Look at that cute little hat. I love it. Yeah. Progressive therapeutic yoga class is the class that I consider the next level from this class. This is gentle therapeutic yoga. And we up the ante. In all of our classes, the goal is to breathe, to listen to the sensation of your breath, to keep your attention on your breathing. But I wouldn't say but. And with that, then you focus your attention on keeping breathing smooth and rhythmic, and you try to do the movements. We use the floor in gentle therapeutic as a template to give our body the support that helps us not have to deal with standing so that when we're standing, now there's even more to have to think about. You got to think about your posture. You got to think about not falling over. You got to think about where your feet are. So that's why gentle therapeutic yoga exists, so that you can have whole body support, which, by the way, just because we're supported doesn't mean this feels good. Not everybody's going to like lying here for many different reasons. But we do the best we can. Some of you hear me say, can you stretch out? Others hear me say, if this is not tolerable to you, like we already have, remember, we're going to have your Cadillac resting. Oh, if that feels good to you, then you get to do it. I'll show everybody Cadillac resting at the end of class, and you guys can choose to use that. But for some of us, we don't feel comfortable lying here, but we feel more comfortable with a little something support. Yay, better. And then because of the way that we do class, I do say you can start here, do your breathing first, and then once we start to go here, I might say move that blanket, because I do want you to try to straighten this leg out. There is a lot happening for that process, for this extension and all that. So, but other than that, here it is, and I'll refresh the memory if you haven't ever heard me say this. Here's the template. Head, shoulders relatively aligned with the head, relatively. Pelvis, standing. Imagine this is Tadasana. And this position now, gravity is helping me be closer to balance, because the position here, gravity tends to want to have us here, or here, or here. And if I take this posture and I put it on the floor, it's going to look, and I'm going to have to work hard to keep it. I'm over exaggerating, by the way. Here, over time, I might be able to get closer to that balance. That's why we do it lying down. And there's Bobby and Miss Cindy, and they are ready, and we are ready. And hello, you're good. Come to lying down. Let your head, let your shoulders, let your arms, let your legs, you're here. Take your breath. As you're dropping down into the mat, mouth closed, breathing through the nose. Bring your mind into this space. So as you are breathing, which by the way is the only thing that you have to do in this practice, feel the sensation of the rhythm of your breath, how it influences your body. Remember, when we start our practice, if you need a little something behind your knees, you may do that, or just let your head, your shoulders, your hips attempt to rest, your legs rest. There's no problem having a little support, or for some of us, even the knees being bent initially. I do want you to try to get as close to comfort as possible. As you're breathing, feeling the body being moved by your breath, the areas, the abdomen, the ribs, the belly, the chest. Notice how, when you bring your attention to your breathing, how it brings your focus to this moment. Guess what? That's what we're working on. Being here in the moment. It really is that simple, and yet it's pretty difficult. Keep your breath moving through your body. Bring your right hand to your lower abdomen with your right elbow on the mat. Notice how the belly rises and falls when you inhale and exhale. Recognize when your mind is thinking, distracting you, taking you out of this moment, and come back to it. Feel the rhythm of your breath. This is the first area of awareness. The right hand on your abdomen. The movement of your belly rising and falling, and the breath maintaining a soft, smooth, and rhythmic, steady flow. Inhaling and exhaling. Bring your left hand to your rib cage on the left side, and just notice that when you inhale, the belly rises, the ribs expand outward. And when you exhale, the ribs and the belly drop down. Continue to breathe softly, smoothly, gently. You pick the adjective. Breathe with awareness. Notice how the abdomen and the belly rise, the belly and the abdomen and the ribs rise when you inhale. And the ribs and the belly, the abdomen drop. Keep that breath soft and smooth. This is our focus. And when you're ready, take your right hand, bring it to your upper ribs and chest. As you inhale and exhale. Continue to feel that sensation, that rhythm. Gentle breath, inhaling and exhaling. As you breathe, the belly rises, the ribs expand, and the chest gently rises with that inhalation, and the chest, the ribs, and the belly drop with an exhalation. Feel that sensation. Subtle movement, soft and rhythmic movement. And now, when you're ready, release your arms alongside your body. Throughout the entirety of this practice, as in each of our therapeutic yoga practices, the only thing that you have to do is breathe. As you become more comfortable with this particular sequence, that gets a little easier. Our work is so much less about performing the posture, the position, or the stretch, or the strengthening activity. And our practice is really about connection, quieting the mind, focusing your attention. It really is an introduction to meditation with a little movement emphasis. Noticing when your mind gets distracted, noticing when you're thinking, well, hell, I should pull my leg a little straighter because I get more benefits if I do that. As soon as you hear something like that in your mind, say, oh, I'm thinking about stuff. Let me come back to my breathing. Let me just let that stretch feel good without attaching any end goal. Here's the fun part for me. The gentlest practices are the most beneficial. Surprise. So keep breathing. Some of us are going to lie here and decide, I've had a rough week already and it's just Tuesday. And you're going to lie here and you're going to breathe, and you might even rest so well that we lose you for a little while. And others are going to breathe and follow along as we bend the right knee, hugging your right knee into chest, lengthening and pressing the left thigh away from your center and firming the left buttock, drawing your shoulders down. Breathe one, down to the pelvis. Breathe two. Breathe three, four, and breathe five. The left hand holds on to the right thigh. The right hand rests down on the mat with the right shoulder on the mat. As you invite that right thigh across the body, look over that right shoulder and breathe. Holding your position, breathe one. Two, pressing the left leg away from you, firming the left buttock. Breathe three. Notice where you feel this stretch. Through the thigh, through the hip, through the spine. Four. Through the ribs. Five. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing that right thigh to come back centered, reaching for your strap. Keep the breath flowing as you take the strap and loop it around the ball of that right foot. Here is where we will straighten that right knee out, and the arms are also relatively straight. We draw strength from our shoulder girdle and we invite that right thigh to stay very straight. We press both heels away. Breathe one. And we take this very straight right knee, thigh, breathe 2. Bring it as close as we can. Feel a stretch. Breathe 3. Along the back of the ankle, the thigh, breathe 4. And our shoulders are still relaxed and our head is on the mat, breathe 5. As you inhale and exhale, now we take both straps into the right hand. There's still a fairly straight, connected arm to the shoulder girdle, left hand to the left hip, as we invite that right thigh to go out to the right side. And it never matters how far it goes, but we're pressing energetically away from your center. Breathe 1. Feeling a stretch to the inner thigh, breathe 2. Feeling our pelvis level. Left hip on the mat, left hip on the left hand, left hip on the mat and left hand on the hip to help. Breathe 4. And 5. Keep breathing as we inhale and exhale. Invite that right thigh to come back center. Switching hands with the strap. That right knee is still pretty straight. Then with both hips on the mat, we invite that right thigh to move across to the left. Both hips are still on the mat and we breathe 1. Big stretch. This feels different. Breathe 2. Now you can stay right here, both hips on the mat, or some of us, right hand on the mat, are going to allow that right hip to come off of the mat. The right shoulder and the right arm are still on the mat. Breathe 1. You take that right thigh across your body as far. Breathe 2. As that body will allow, both feet are pressing away from center. Breathe 3. Breathe 4. And breathe 5. Keep breathing as you inhale and exhale. That right thigh comes back to center as you inhale and exhale. Hold. Take both straps. As you inhale and exhale, we're going to climb up that strap and lead with our head, our neck muscles, our abdominal muscles, our arm muscles. Breathe 1. Strong. Breathe 2. Use that position. Breathe 3. And the strength of your arms and legs. Breathe 4. Shoulders move away from our ears. Breathe 5. And then slowly lower down. Head on, shoulders on the mat, breathe, releasing the strap from that right foot, hold steady, breathe. Dorsiflex the right ankle, extend the toes, firm the thighs. Bend that right knee, hold steady. The outside of that right ankle will land over the top of that left shin. We check in with our head, breathe, shoulders and pelvis even on the mat, while the right hip externally rotates. Breathe 1. Firm your thighs. I like to press my arms into the mat. Breathe 2. I personally have bent my left knee a tiny bit. Breathe 3 to help support that knee joint. Breathe 4. And breathe 5. You can stay right here in this first position for external rotation of that right hip, or breathing, bend that right knee a little bit more. I'm still dorsiflexed in both ankles. Externally rotate that right thigh, firm through the arms, head, breathe 1. Keep your breath as your first work. Breathe 2. Smooth and soft and rhythmic. Breathe 3. Only do as much as the breath allows. Breathe 4. The most powerful of practices. Breathe 5. The breath-centered awareness practice. Keep breathing. You can stay right here, or some of us are going to bend the left knee, placing the left foot on the mat. We're checking in with the head, the shoulders, the pelvis level on the mat, while the right thigh is invited to externally rotate. This is very powerful. We've been doing this with the legs straight, in right knee bent in different positions, and now breathe 1. You can press the arms, press the left foot into the mat. Breathe 2. You can stay right here. Breathe 3. Some of you who know this posture will keep the head and shoulders on the mat. Breathe 4 while you hug that left thigh. You're going to start breathing 1. Yeah, you know how I like us to be in these postures for a while. Breathe 2. So you might use your strap. Breathe 3. If you are lifting that thigh up, breathe 4. But remember, if that thigh starts to do different things just to get the leg up, breathe 5. You don't have to have the leg up. Be at peace. If the leg was up, slowly release it down. Breathe. There's no rush to try to get this, especially if you see the neck and shoulders are working hard or you're really not able to breathe. Uncross that right ankle from the left thigh. Breathe. Hug the left knee into chest. Breathe. Dorsiflex both ankles. Press that right thigh away. Here's a little feedback. Notice when that right leg goes out, notice if that right leg goes out to the side. And if it does, see if that right leg can be like Tadasana, hip distance apart. That means that if you notice it went out, draw it in. Breathe 1. You might be surprised at how that changes the work that you're doing. Breathe 2. Shoulders drop back and down. Breathe 3. Oh, I've got all sorts of tricks up my sleeve to make. Once you finally get it good and you're like, but Nydia, it was just comfortable. Breathe 4. I finally got it, and now you made it hard again. Breathe 5. You got to watch it. We're firming that right thigh away, right buttock. Hold on with the right hand to the left thigh, left hand on the mat. Keep breathing as we begin. Left hand, left shoulder on the mat to invite that left thigh across your body. Looking over the left shoulder. Breathe 1. We're still very strong. Breathe 2 through the legs. That right leg pressing away, that left hand on the mat. Breathe 3. Breathe 4. And breathe 5. Inhale and exhale, coming back center as you're breathing. Looking for our strap as you're breathing in the transitional movements. The strap goes around the ball of that left foot. We firm the right and the left thigh. Our head is on and shoulders are on the mat, and we firm dorsiflexive. Ankle, extend the toes. Firm the left and the right thigh, and we bring, inviting that left thigh as close as we can, but do check the knee, because when we try to bring that leg close, the knee bends, and we miss an opportunity. So here, I want leg as far away from you as you can. This is one of the only ones. Well, okay, there's several. Breathe 1. A few postures where I'll say go ahead and try to hyperextend your knees. Breathe 2. We can do that here. Push, make muscle. Breathe 3. Opportunity to strengthen the quadriceps. Breathe 4 to release the hamstrings. And breathe 5. And we're holding on with the right and the left hand holding onto the strap. The reason that we are holding on with the right and the left hand, keep breathing, so that you can use your strength. So releasing your hands, Miss Lorraine, we use right and the left hand separate. There's no accident about the right and the left hand being separate, because when I ask you to do this pull, I want you to pull from here. So Miss Susan, yeah, pull the shoulders back to the midline. Ooh, yeah. That's where I want your strength to be developed. So a little bit straighter with the arms so that we're not here, but rather around over here. So keep going up, loop it around. There you go. And yes, and the strength that we're using is from here, from the shoulder girdle. And that continues when we finally take the left hand, hold onto the strap. We have been training, and we gotta keep doing it, that left shoulder to anchor from the shoulder girdle, right hand to hip, firm through both thighs. Now it's easy for me to say, do this, do that. Breathe 1, look over the right shoulder. That's why this practice is so repetitive. Breathe two, why we do the same thing every time, almost, right? Breathe three, because this allows you time, breathe four, to learn all of the little parts. Breathe five, and to explore them. My right hand on my right hip is on purpose so that if my right hip comes off the mat, I'll know it. I anchor, my left shoulder anchoring down and using my arm as best as I can. Now keep breathing. Invite that left thigh back center, breathing. Now I switch hands with that strap, and here it is again, an opportunity. Sometimes when I'm here, my shoulder, and I don't even realize it, I'm doing like this, and my shoulder's up near my ear. I want to anchor the shoulder down, only hold on. Right hand holding onto that strap. Now that left hand is on the mat, and I keep my left hand and left shoulder on the mat as I move across the body, looking over that left shoulder and breathing. We are developing muscular endurance, breathe two, core strength and stability, breathe three, the shoulder girdle, breathe four, house part of our core stability structures, breathe five. You might not ever thought about it. Here we go, inhale and exhale. But our neck and our head and our shoulders, bring that left thigh back, breathe, depend for their ability and function and quality of life for the future, depend on the core stability. Here it is, between the shoulder blades and the ribs, that area. Now we're going to lift the head, lift the shoulders. This comes from your shoulders first and a little bit also from your arms, your biceps. Breathe two. This comes from your neck strength stabilizers. Breathe three. Your abdominal muscles. Breathe four. Don't leave out the shoulder blades. Breathe five. Slowly lower. Inhale and exhale. Release the left foot from the strap. Breathing. Dorsiflex both ankles. Breathe. Extend the toes. Bend the left knee. Hold steady. Breathe. Place the outside of the left ankle over the top of the right shin and externally rotate. Firm the buttocks. Breathe one. I have a microscopic bend of my right knee. Breathe two. So find your position. This is so important. Breathe three. Dorsiflex ankles. For those of us who have history of some adventures, I'll call them, with the knee joint, we gotta have hip action. We've gotta pay attention to those hips. Breathe. Five. So do not skip out. Do not scrimp on this work. We're going to bend the left knee now. Pay attention. Externally rotate through that left hip. Firm the buttocks. Press the arms, the back of the head into the mat. Breathe one. We get a lot of information about the influence. Breathe two. What is happening in your low back right now? If doing this causes you to really arch your low back, breathe four, then I'm going to ask you to pay attention to that. Breathe five. See if you can be aware. Am I going to ask you to push it down a whole lot? Maybe not, but I want to be aware. What's going on here? We're pressing through those arms. We might decide to bend that right knee, placing the right foot on the mat and still externally rotating through that hip. We're dorsiflexing the ankle. We're holding steady. You could stay here. Breathe two. Breathe three. Noticing where the head, the neck, the shoulders are. Some of us will stay there and others will decide, oh, I'm going to lift my right thigh, holding on to it with the arms or with a strap. Breathe two. Breathe three. Breathe four. Keep the breath. Five. Slowly lowering that right thigh as you inhale and exhale. Breathing. Uncrossing that left ankle as we're holding. We move into our therapeutic bridge pose where both knees are bent. The feet are about hip distance apart. We are feeling the weight even between the ball of the foot and the heel. And notice this is one of them where if you're not really sure where your feet are and if they're aligned, then this is a great place to maybe, do this up against the wall, or even like in here, you might put your yoga blanket and place it in position so that you can kind of know, hey, am I lining up? Or you might position yourself at the very edge of your yoga mat and say, I'm going to bring both of my feet to the edge of my yoga mat so that I can know that my feet are the same level. Because this too will change. So, Miss Lorraine, let's take a peek. Not level. So, good. Keep going. There you go. And if you have to, you can go, are they there? Okay. So very important. Same thing, Miss Betty. Let's see if the left knee, yeah. If she needs to, let her go out or bend the right knee more, one or the other, so that they will be, the right will come in, bend the right knee. Yeah, get them level. So go peek.
It seems like my left is longer than my.
It might just be. Could be.
That seems level.
Yeah. So now, wide fingers and palms. So right now, that actually is not level. Bend which knee is the one that doesn't bend as much? Okay. So will she bend a little bit more? There you go. Okay, not so much. Right about there. That's getting close. Will she tolerate that? Oh, but don't bend the left knee anymore. We're trying to level them out. Lift the toes, feel, breathe. So that's one where you can actually, when you do your practice at home, breathe one, hint, hint. Breathe two. That wasn't subtle, was it?
That'll work.
Breathe three. You can lie on the floor with your feet next to a solid piece of furniture where your toes can come up to it, or next to the wall. Breathe four. And that helps a lot so that you can learn what that feels like. And at first, it may feel awkward to be like, that doesn't feel level. And we just kind of look at that, breathe. So now that's our first position. We're going to lift the hips. That was an extended version. Firm the buttocks, breathe one. See if those feet could stay where they are. Breathe two. Yeah. Oh, you wanted to sneak out. Breathe three. Breathe four. How does that feel different, Lorraine? A little bit.
Feels great.
Breathe five. So we want to keep that levelness through the feet. Slow lower. Breathe. As you inhale and exhale, we're slowly now going to rest, and we may take the feet out and move into position two. So as you inhale and exhale, breathing steady and rhythmic. When you step the feet away from your buttocks, so we have 4 therapeutic bridges. And the first one should feel relatively comfortable, normal. The second one is the long bridge. In the long bridge, we step the feet away from your pelvis long, so the legs get long. We only go as far as they can stay fairly level. So here's a place where we might get a little bit out of whack again. So this is where, let's say that we were using the wall or a piece of furniture for our guideline. Then for position two, we might actually shimmy the body away. Does that make sense? Once we've got the feet where they need to be, so Miss Lorraine, go check on those feet. And the ball of the foot and the heel should be on the mat. So it's only going to be as far away as you can have that evenness. And muscles get tired. Good. Yay. Yeah. That now they're aligned. Let's see if they'll want to stay there. Ooh, yes. Go to. Me too. When I do that. So now we press to the arms. The legs are longer. Hence the reason we do it, right? Because I want you to get more muscle action. Press through those arms and legs. Remember, you don't have to stay there suffering. Breathe three. We're lifting the hips if they will, and if we need to, we dorsiflex the ankles a little bit more. Breathe four. And breathe five. Slowly lower the hips down. So then if it does, notice what your breath did when you did that and it hurt your low back. It shouldn't hurt your low back ever.
Oh, that's the worst part. That's very painful.
So then it shouldn't be painful. So I have a question. It hurts when you lifted your hips.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think you should do so that it won't hurt?
Continue to keep doing it.
Not right now. What do you think, Miss
You
Betty?
gotta hold your pelvis in a, like, straighter so that you don't get an arch in your back.
That may not be why she's hurting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Move your feet in closer.
Nope.
Just don't lift your hips. It's right in here.
Linda got a gold star. If it hurts when you lift your hips, you shouldn't lift your hips.
Well, I like that.
It's like hitting yourself on the head with a hammer.
So we're in long leg right now. Breathe. Exactly. So we're in long legs. We're in position 2. We're taking a little extra adventure here. You push the feet into the mat. You press the arms into the mat. You press the head into the mat. You firm your buttocks and you hold. And then I'm going to ask Betty, with your hips on the mat and you're pressing your hands, your feet, you're firming the muscles. Do you hurt?
No.
Good. Keep breathing. There you are.
That's not accomplishing anything.
Oh, my athlete. Okay, keep breathing. Watch out, that was a dare. Keep breathing. Firm your buttocks. Do not let me move your arms. Press, breathe. Press your feet into the mat. Do not lift your legs up. Keep pressing. Don't let me lift you. Don't let me lift you. Breathe. Keep breathing. Don't let me lift you. Breathe. Shoulders back. Breathe. Still no pain?
No pain.
Except for muscles getting tired?
No pain. No.
Are you accomplishing anything?
I don't know that I am, but
Really?
I must be doing something.
So that's the process. Work the muscles. There's no accident about what I'm asking you for because it's preparing the muscles to eventually help them be supported. There's no need to lift.
Okay, but
That makes other muscles tired, right?
yeah.
Good. Get them strong. Yes, it is. We want to say, well, this is the better part because this is the part, not even this one, the one that I see in the cover of Yoga Journal. Slowly release. If you're lifted right now, breathe. But this practice is not about that. The breath is the practice. So now we were in position 2, which is long. We can come back to position 1 or keep breathing. Position 3, we bend the knees as much as they want to, but they gotta be even. This one's hard to look. It's like, can I do that? So once again, if you're not sure if you're even, and I've been pointing out at you, then you really benefit from using the edge of your mat to know whether you're even. So Miss Lorraine, you're not even. She's like, damn. Yes. And then you shimmy your bottom up to keep that, and you try to get as close as you can. Does that make sense? Nice. Because we all use whatever we need in order to get the feedback. We've got to learn it. So now, wherever you are, knees are bent as far as they will be. They're trying to be even. You press through the arms, you press through the feet, you firm the buttocks. Some of you will lift, some of us will not lift, because lifting is more than the body wants to do without pain. None of this should hurt. Breathe. Squeeze the buttocks, press through the arms. Wherever you are, breathe 4. Breathe 5. Slowly release if you are lifted. Rest if you are not lifted. Now, that was our therapeutic bridge, part 3. We move next into our hip rotation activities. Step the feet to the comfortable level of bending. Now, widen the legs. Breathe. Dorsiflex the ankles. Breathe. The legs are as wide as they will allow us to be. Drop the thighs to the center. Firm your buttocks. Same idea like bridge. Press the arms into the mat. Firm the buttocks. Thighs drop into the center. Breathe. 2. Hold steady. The dorsiflex ankle are very important. Breathe 4. You're going to get muscularly tired holding that. Good. Breathe 5. Eventually, you'll get less muscularly tired. Right thigh drops now to the center. Left thigh, we're pivoting on the heels. Left thigh drops out. And we firm the buttocks. Same thing, the arms kind of like bridge. We press through the arms, we firm the buttocks. Breathe 2. We invite the left thigh to press outward. We feel a big stretch. Breathe 3 at the front of that right hip. Yeah. Breathe 4. Good. And 5. And if you choose, that left ankle could come and rest over the top of that right thigh. But guess what? You might be better served staying. Breathe 1 right here. Breathe 2. Dorsiflex the ankle. That's very important. Breathe 3, especially of the right ankle. Breathe 4. And 5. Check your head, neck, and shoulders. Now that, if that left ankle was over the top of the right thigh, bring it back out and put it way far away. Put the heel down on the mat. Breathe. So it's wide. Come back to vertical. Woo, here we go. And now drop both thighs towards the right. Firm through the arms, the head. Breathe 1. Firm the buttocks. Breathe 2. This is internal rotation of the left hip, external rotation of the right hip. Breathe 3. Press through those arms. Breathe 4. Keep the breath. Dorsiflex the ankles. Breathe 5. Right ankle comes over the outside of the left thigh. That is optional. Breathe 1. Squeeze. Firm the buttocks. Breathe 2. I have witnessed Bobby get so much better at this over the last 2 years. Breathe 4. This is not an easy action. Taken her 2 years, but she's getting better. Woohoo! Breathe 5. That's the cool part. Keep doing it, and the body will say, fine, okay, I'll do it. Right ankle comes out. Breathe. Way out to the side as you inhale and exhale. Bring both thighs back to center. Breathe. Walk the feet closer to one another. Breathe. Knees are bent. Soles of the feet touch one another. Thighs drop out like butterfly wings. Press the soles of the feet together, squeeze the buttocks. Press the hands into the mat, squeeze the buttocks. Just breathe right here. This is another one, Miss Betty, I want you to keep an eye on. It should not be uncomfortable. So maybe press to the arms, press the feet together, squeeze the buttocks. Maybe we stay hips down. Some of you who know this posture will lift the hips, but guess what? Breathe 1. Wherever you are, you should be able to breathe. No pain allowed. Breathe 2. In each of our practices, every posture, breathe 4. Muscles may get tired, but you should not hurt. Joints should not hurt. Spine should not hurt. Zero, zilcho, no tolerance for that. Slowly release. Let the thighs come back to vertical. The whole idea is we're trying to get the nervous system to trust. So if the body is going, ouch, 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 nervous system is listening and it says, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is wrong. I don't care for this. And even though we're determined, somebody said that this is good for me, the nervous system goes, I don't think so. It will take longer to get benefits. Did you hear that? It will take longer. Hello? The speedy route to getting the benefit, it should feel really good. Nervous system goes, yeah, baby, I like this. Even if the other part of your mind, really it's the left brain is saying, but you're supposed to be doing it and then you'll get the benefits. Let the right brain come in and say, just chill out, okay? Let's just be here. All righty, let's continue. Oh, is it that time? Yeah, I think so. We're going to do therapeutic bridge part 4? Yeah. But that's pretty good. I wanted to go there too, but I had to remind myself. Therapeutic bridge part 4. Knees are bent. Breathe. Take the arms as you inhale and exhale. Place them right next to your hips. Breathe. And remember, pressing the hands into the mat, firm the buttocks, breathe, back of the head into the mat. Some of us are going to lift and others are not going to lift, and that's okay. Breathe 1. Press through those arms, breathe 2. Listen carefully, breathe 3. And if you choose, your arms may reach up. And if they do, as you inhale and exhale, breathing steady. As you inhale and exhale, those fingers, hands, wrists will extend. Then we bend the elbows. We think about placing those palms on the mat. We decide wherever that is. Wherever you are, let your palms try, good, to come down. And then you can stay with the hips lifted or not. Good, beautiful. Feet wide. Let's get wide on the feet, Miss Betty. There you go. And then if your hips are lifted, you can let your hips come down or be right where you are. In this position, gradually, the arms might change depending on where you are. Yeah. See what? Yeah, good. Ooh, wow. Hello. Looks good. Breathe. Notice where your hands are and see if, tuck the chin a little bit, Miss Lorraine. Good. See if the hands, and I will not do this for you, but see if the hands will come out just a little bit to the side. And just notice what that's all about, whether that body says yes to that.
It says yes.
Okay. The breath will tell you. Now we're going to be here for a few more breaths just because this is a great time to kind of notice. Now each of us is different. Sometimes we'll notice the elbows are coming out. While the palms are flat, the elbows begin, yeah, to think about. And this is not about perfection, because if you ever see me doing this, my arms are doing something interesting. But I just want you to have the experience of what would happen if I kept my palms flat and brought my elbows, ooh, and just breathe. Nice. And then when you're ready, woo, release those arms. Wow, good job. That looked really good over there, Miss Linda. You've been practicing. Circle the wrists and ankles. Wrist and hands, sorry. We'll get the ankles later. Woo. Keep the breath. Open and close the hands. Flex the wrists, and extend, and then when you're ready, shake them out. We should do that on a regular basis, massaging arms and hands and wrists, fingers. Oh, it's good for us. All right, now the knees are bent, cross that right thigh way over. Squeeze the inner thighs and drop both thighs over to the left. Look over the right shoulder. Breathe. My right shoulder will start being pinned on the mat, and then if it, everybody's different, whether it comes off. Hold your position, breathe. So truly, it's all about the breath, and we go to the place where we can breathe, and we feel how, when we breathe, how the ribs and the chest are influenced by this work. We are mobilizing our nervous system and our bony structures too. Keep breathing. We're going to come back to center. Uncross the right thigh if it was crossed. Some of us will not cross the legs, and that's okay. You just keep them close to each other and they drop. So you just decide which one allows you to breathe. Dropping. My left shoulder's on the mat. The thighs go to the right. I look over that right shoulder, and I love this posture. Breathe one. It is, as I talk about the top 5, this is one of them. Top 5 postures on my list. Breathe 4. Full disclosure, when I'm like, oh man, I should do a practice. I really should. My body's tired. Ugh, am I going to get on my yoga mat? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I might not even get out of my bed, but I'm going to do this one. Inhale and exhale, come back center. Luckily, my husband's also a yoga, a therapist and a yoga practitioner on cross, so he's like, oh, there she goes again. Well, I guess I should do my spinal twist too, because I keep like, knees are all into his, side. All right, here we go. Let's find our blankets. Breathe. In the transition, it should feel good. Breathe. So keep breathing. When we get up onto hips on the blanket, it should also feel pretty good. Shouldn't be uncomfortable. There should be a stretch of some form. Right knee into chest, left knee into chest. Breathe. Right thigh goes up, left thigh. And we shouldn't be working hard for this one. Breathe. While we're here looking at those cute feet. Reality in my world is I'll never be a foot model. That's okay. But I still think my feet are beautiful. It took me a long time to think that. So I hope that you too will think that your feet are beautiful. They're pretty amazing. Dorsiflex and plantar flex. Breathe. If you keep staring at them long enough, they'll start to look really weird. Plant the seed. It's like, truly. I have stared at my feet for a long time, and it's like all of a sudden they look like little aliens. We're going to dorsiflex and hold and flex and extend the toes. Breathe. And then we will flex the toes and plantar flex the ankles, hold, and flex and extend the toes. Excellent view there, Miss Cindy. I see those feet. Now flex the toes, plantar flex ankles, inverted evert.
I don't understand why this is so hard to do.
Breathe.
You don't do it much.
She's getting stars over there. Plantar flex the ankles, extend the toes. She's got years on you guys. That's why she's been hanging out with me for a while. Invert evert.
I actually do this when I'm watching TV.
Nice.
With my feet on the recliner, not over my head.
Heck yeah. Now, dorsiflex the ankles, toes extended, inverted evert. It works. This is just the other way to do it with the legs in the air. And now, dorsiflex the ankles, flex the toes, inverted evert. And it gets easier. Over time, it gets easier, but my muscles still cramp. And then release. Big circles. Snap, crackle, pop. And then reverse. Physical therapists, as well as chiropractors and osteopaths, we actually will manipulate and mobilize your ankles and the joints in your feet. Guess what? I'm teaching you how to do it yourself. Shake the legs out. It'll benefit you greatly.
Every time you almost fall, you'll be grateful you got strong ankles. And you don't hear that snap.
Oh, right. Knees are bending. Breathe. You can place the feet down onto the mat. Breathe. Lift your hips up off the blanket. And move yourself into your Shavasana. But now, Miss Betty has a new tool. You ready, Miss Betty? Everybody stretch your legs out. Find your position.
It was on top of that, wasn't it?
It was. Is that good, or do they need to be closer?
That's perfect.
Aromatherapy time.
Is that kind of like what they call a waterfall? What she's doing?
Who calls the waterfall?
Well, I've been in other yoga classes and they kind of call that the waterfall. Thank you, ma'am.
They might.
That's pretty neat.
That is a position of a lot of support. You're welcome.
That's really neat.
Looks like it's really good for your bones.
it is, for some individuals, important. If you can tolerate and you do well with the position that I have you in, highly recommended. There's a reason why Betty's in that position. It was not restful for her. And we need to find, that means that somebody would either lie on her side or maybe not even lie down if they needed to. And for those of you who cannot see what Betty's doing, I'm going to change my camera here for a moment. She's a rock star. She got the super blocks underneath the back of her thighs, and she got a yoga blanket. I love that. Cindy's like, I see that. Yeah. And she's waving at us. So there. Important stuff. Thank you, Cindy.
No, but why am I here?
When you told me that when you were lying down, you were very uncomfortable and it kind of bothered your back. Is that correct?
That was correct.
And so I said, well, then that doesn't work for us.
It just flattens it out.
Yeah. And so what this does is it gives you support so that you can rest. My goal for us at this point right now is for you to rest. Earlier, we were making you work. And if you are not able to rest well for this part, then we need to change it, and that's why. If you can, now guess what? In the next few years, if you will hang out with me, it's very likely that you will be able to lie down without any discomfort in your low back with a little blanket. It might be in the next few months. I have no idea.
I was going to start early. The back is tight. When I start breathing and relaxing, I feel it settle in a little bit.
Yes,
That's
that's good news. Those of you at home may not have heard that. When she starts, the back is pretty tight, but as she continues breathing, the back starts to relax. That's important. And what that gives us information about, to be very direct about this, is that she's got great potential, and it's likely either in months, maybe years, but could be months, that her body will say, okay, I get this. Yes. I'm going to stop talking and let you all rest. Breathe. Very gently allowing movement, very subtle movement of fingers and toes. Stretching the arms and legs away from your center and gently bending the knees. Slowly rolling onto your side. Coming gradually into the seated position. Remember to pick your position. We can use our blanket to sit on, or helps a lot. We sit, and because eventually the pelvis will drop into what's called an anterior tilt, and that is very helpful for those of us who are restricted. Just find a position where you can sit for a moment when we close with the sound of Om. Inhale. Inhale, reach the arms skyward, gently place the palms together, move them past the mind's eye, drop them down to the heart center. Blessings to each of you. Thank you for moving, breathing, being aware. We're working on paying attention. We do it by trying to focus on our breath while we move. Thank you for allowing me to serve you in this practice. Be well. Peace, everybody.